Oh, oh. Alors, I came here with a French passport. When I got married, I married an Englishman, so he had his English passport. And when I moved to America, I applied immediately for a green card. It was a very easy process, except that it was expensive because I had to go to the doctor. I remember I spent like $400 to get all the shots that I had in France back in here. Everything. $400, I got like 5 shots in the same day. It's crazy. And then I got fingerprinted. And I thought it was so funny to get all the fingers fingerprinted that I took my sandal out and I was ready. Do you want my toes too? And my husband went like, shh, don't do that. They don't like to take jokes in there. So I got quiet. I got my green card so that with that I could work. That helped a lot to adjust to the United States, of course. And I started teaching French right away. So for years I lived here with that green card. I renewed it once because it's valid only 10 years. My children were born here, so they have an American passport. And we kept saying with my husband, well, you know, what would happen if tomorrow you and I die and our children are like orphans? So we decided that it might be a good idea to go and see somebody who is more an expert at law than we are. And we waited a bit long to do that, to be honest with you. And we went to see somebody here in Santa Rosa who was very nice to explain me that it's complicated when your parents are not American citizens, because if, God forbid, right, something bad happens to you, basically your children are put in a foster home. Voilà. That's what the state is kicking in to help, of course. But then I started thinking, duh, why would my children be sent to a family that they don't know when I have all my family in France that would be most happy to have them? So we wrote a will to make sure that if something like this happened, things would be okay for them. And then the guy told us, well, have you ever thought of becoming an American citizen? And we said, well, not really. And then he explained us that it would be a good thing to do, because I think that most likely they will remain in America, and me too. So if one day when I'm old and when I'm an old lady I happen to pass, maybe I would like whatever I have to go to my children. If you're not American citizen, that's very difficult to do in here. So I applied for the American citizenship, and you know what? First, I'm honest, I just did it for the papers. But as I was doing it, things started to change for me. I knew quite a bit about American history already, but just the process itself was actually very emotional for me, especially. I had to meet with immigration officers a couple of times, and they asked me questions that I had to think about it, you know, before I said a yes or a no. They ask you, the most important question really, is it, are you ready to bear arms and defend your country if you're being called? And that question they ask you several times. And I think it takes a lot of, you know, you need to think about that a lot, because you're born wherever you're born and you think of yourself as, like me, I was very French, and now I'm not saying I'm not French. I don't feel myself as French. Okay, I happen to be born in France. I was raised there, but right now I am an American citizen, and I swore allegiance to the flag of the United States, like maybe you're still doing here every day. I don't know. And what every single word of what I'm saying, I mean it. I mean it. I really value. I value all the liberties that you have in this country. It's just. It's amazing. So yes, I'm proud to say I am an American citizen now for the last 3 years. What I can share with you maybe, I hope I'm not going to cry too, is that when I was 15, a big drama happened in my family. My two brothers, who were just younger than me, both died just before back to school one year in a car crash. And I still remember how it felt to be sitting at the kitchen table and see two empty spots. And my parents, as you can imagine. And then one day, I don't know how I had the, I don't know, I think it's my life inside. I believe in life, and I believe that even with the hardships you may go through, you can still survive. And I think I'm a survivor in that aspect. One day, maybe a month or two after my brothers passed away, I was sitting at the dinner table, and you could feel the tension in the kitchen. When you're mourning, it's hard. Sometimes you can't even speak. And you know that if your mom or your dad starts speaking about what the, how do you say, the big, yeah, exactly. One of them starts crying, everybody cries. You know what I mean? And it's a vicious circle. It's difficult to get out of that circle. So that night, I could feel none of us could actually say what sorrow we had on our hearts that night. And I told them, well, I don't want to hear about it. I'm not going to make the conversation for free. So either you're still young enough to have more children, or you're going to adopt some, because I'm not going to replace my two brothers. And I'm lucky. I'm so blessed that despite my parents' age, they were not very young, but they could still have children. So my brother was born when I was 18, and 11 months later, another miracle happened. My sister was born, and they are 11 months apart. So today, I have a brother, Julien, who is 33 years old. When I'm more than 50, yeah, he must be 33, 34. And my sister, who is just like a year younger than he is, and they just got married, they have babies now, and you know. So what I mean by this is that everybody has different hardships to overcome. Some are harder than others, and I think you need to believe that with time, things get better. But you've got to take action too. You can't expect things to just like get better or by themselves like that. So you see, for example, I had to change schools because of what happened. I didn't want to leave my mother all day long at home or by herself. So instead of catching the school bus that would take me to a school that was far away from my house, I said, Mom, I want to change schools and go to the school next door, so that I could come back home at lunch. And my mom had, you know, at least she had this to do every morning, to cook for me at lunch. I thought that would help her not go crazy, you know. So I think that the fact they had more children gave me also an example to believe in life. Voilà, that's what I want to tell you. Believe in yourself, believe in life. You can make things change. Sometimes it's difficult and it takes a long time, long time. You need to be very patient. It took me 10 years to be able to mourn my brothers. 10 years. 10 years later, I still could not let go of it. I would not, every boy who was interested in me, you know, like to date or whatever, I was like, because I was scared too that if I got attached emotionally to a man, I would lose him, just like I lost my brothers. You know what I mean? So sometimes in the head, things happen you don't even realize. So you need to spend the time to think about what you're doing, how you're doing things, because there are consequences, and you want them to be good for you. Voilà.
I'm Kiara Catelli.
I'm Jackie Perez.
Hi, I'm Sasha Rockerbaumer.
I'm Victor Casañas.